You hear that? Maybe that's noise from cars driving by. Maybe that's the rain bouncing off your windows. Maybe that's people chattering in the background. Listening is a fascinating and magical tool we all have. You see, Americans spend 11 hours a day watching, reading, listening to, or simply interacting with media. We spend 3 hours and 48 minutes a day on computers, tablets, and smartphones. This thing, 3 hours, nearly 4 hours a day. You know, I think these devices are great, but I think over time they clutter up the mind. You know, us humans, we were not designed for these speedy devices that can answer any question we may have with a quick Google search. And when we make that Google search, we see billions of results, two of which are really relevant to what we want. And so I'm not bashing media, I'm not bashing our phones. They're all necessary tools. But I was on a production shoot recently, and I was sitting down with my producer, who I'm also filming, and we had a good conversation after we finished dinner. So we were sitting together, you know, naturally just talking. And it was about 7 or 8 in the evening, and of course I'm super curious, and I'm asking all sorts of interesting questions, and I'm recording some answers and some I'm not. And as the conversation evolved and got deeper, I set my camera down, and I said, you know, the reality is, as much as I film you, as important as it is for me to tell a powerful story, what really matters is you. So that's making sure you feel seen or heard and heard, validated, valued, understood, and I want you to know you matter and are important. Because these devices mean nothing to me if we don't have relationships. Because all of life is relationships. Relationships are the most important things, yet we get so caught up in looking on our phones. And I find that very disappointing. But that is just the way of the world. And, you know, as I work away at my desk and, you know, edit video and write stories and so on and so forth, I always have pictures of the people in my life who are very important. See, there's that. And there's one more thing I always keep by me. A card from a friend. Gotta have that. See, without these people, what would you have? And I'm not talking about codependency. I'm talking about what really matters. And so, let's pause for a couple minutes. Let's pause. I'll stop talking. Maybe you pause what you're doing and think about some people in your life whom you're grateful for. Alright? How'd that feel? But it felt pretty good. Felt good for me as well. And by the way, those stats that I mentioned earlier, yeah, those are a couple years old. I imagine with the pandemic, we are spending even more and more time on our phones, our laptops, and missing out on what's really important.